In the world of medicine, there's a revolution happening right now. And it's not some new wonder drug or a groundbreaking surgery. We're talking about a technology that is completely reshaping everything, from how we diagnose diseases all the way to what it even means to be a doctor. I'm talking, of course, about artificial intelligence. And in this explainer, we're going to look at how AI is like a double-edged scalpel. Unbelievably powerful, but with some serious risks we just can't afford to ignore. Just think about that for a second. This quote really gets to the core of this whole puzzle. The very same AI that makes a doctor better at their job today could actually make them worse tomorrow by chipping away at their fundamental skills. How is that even possible? Well, let's dive in and break down how this powerful new tool is really working. So, first things first, when you hear AI in medicine, try not to picture a robot replacing your doctor. That's not really the idea. A much better way to think about it is as an algorithmic scalpel. It's this incredibly precise tool that helps doctors see things that the human eye might just glance over. It can sift through mountains of data to spot patterns that scream disease. It's all about augmenting human skill, not replacing it. And what happens when you give clinicians this kind of augmentation? The results are, well, they're pretty mind-blowing. We're seeing AI pull off what you could almost call superhuman feats in medical diagnostics. So let's look at what this actually looks like in the real world. Okay, take something like a stroke, where literally every single second counts. AI has proven to be twice as accurate as human experts at reading the critical scans. And look, this isn't just some cool tech spec. This is a genuine lifesaver. It means faster, more accurate decisions when the stakes are as high as they get. And that incredible accuracy translates directly into speed. One healthcare system put an AI to work just identifying new cancer patients from reports. The result? They got those patients into life-saving treatment an average of 6 days sooner. Now, if you're the one who just got that diagnosis, 6 days is a lifetime. That's nearly a week less of just waiting and worrying. So how did they get that fast? It's all about a massive boost in efficiency. That same system saved over 11,000 hours of manual work. Now, this isn't about getting rid of jobs. It's about freeing up incredibly skilled nurses and coordinators to spend their time doing what people do best, actually talking to patients, guiding them, and giving them support. And the breakthroughs just keep getting wilder. In pathology, an AI can literally look at a standard tissue slide and predict a tumor's genetic code, something that used to take a whole separate expensive test. Or in cardiology, an AI can look at a simple ECG and spot poor heart function. What this really means is that we're democratizing expertise. We're basically bottling up the knowledge of a world-class specialist and putting it into software that can be used anywhere. Okay, so far, this all sounds pretty amazing, right? But every incredible promise seems to come with a shadow. What happens when the tool that's designed to make us better also makes us totally dependent on it? This is where the success of AI starts to create a whole new, much trickier set of risks. This is called the de-skilling effect. And frankly, it's startling. Check this out. In a big study, doctors used an AI assistant to help them find precancerous growths. And with the AI's help, they got better. Great, right? But here's the twist. When they turned the AI off, the performance of those same experienced doctors had dropped by around 20% from where they started. It's exactly like the Google Maps effect. You rely on the GPS every day, and pretty soon, you can't even remember how to get to the grocery store on your own. And believe me, this isn't just some weird thing that happens in a lab. When they surveyed actual radiologists, the people using this stuff every day, the feedback was, well, it was rough. A staggering 94% said the AI's performance was inconsistent, and almost half said it actually made their workload heavier, probably because they had to spend so much time second-guessing the machine. There's a huge disconnect between the promise and the reality. And that brings us to another huge issue. The black box problem. A lot of these AI models can give you the right answer, but they can't show you their work. One study found that even when an AI got the diagnosis right, its internal logic was flawed up to 27% of the time. Now, if a doctor just passively accepts that answer without knowing how the AI got there, they could be building a life or death diagnosis on a really faulty foundation. All right, so we've been talking a lot about the clinicians. But let's shift gears now and talk about you, the patient. Because AI isn't just changing things behind the scenes, it's completely redesigning your entire experience, from the moment you feel a little off to how you manage your health day to day. Think of this as the new digital front door to getting care. It starts before you're even sick, with an AI looking at your smartwatch data and giving you wellness tips. Then, if you do have a symptom, a chatbot is there 24/7 to help you figure out what to do next. It automates all the annoying stuff, like scheduling, and it even tackles one of the biggest headaches in healthcare, trying to figure out what something will actually cost. But, and you probably saw this coming, just like with the diagnostics, all this convenience comes with a huge risk. You see, AI models learn from the data we give them, and if that data reflects the biases that already exist in our world, the AI will learn those biases too. In one really famous example, an algorithm was found to be systematically recommending less care for Black patients than for white patients who were at the exact same level of sickness. So how on earth does something like that happen? Well, the algorithm made a really flawed assumption. It used how much money was spent on a patient as a shortcut for how sick they were. But because our system historically spends less on healthcare for Black patients, the AI learned a terrible lesson. It concluded that they must be healthier. So the algorithm wasn't designed to be biased, but it perfectly reflected the bias that was already in its data. So you've got this incredible promise on one side and these terrifying risks on the other. What's the path forward? Well, the solution isn't to just abandon the technology. It's about fundamentally changing the relationship between the human doctor and the algorithm, making sure there's always a smart, critical human in the loop. This is leading to a brand new role for the doctor of the future, the clinical AI orchestrator. Their job won't be about just remembering facts anymore. AI is always going to be better at that. Instead, their true value will be in managing a whole team of AIs, questioning their outputs, spotting potential bias, and most importantly, blending all that data with the one thing an AI will never understand, the patient's actual life, their values, their story. And that really brings us to the final, most important question. When you boil it all down, the biggest challenges with AI in medicine aren't technical. It's not about processing power or bigger data sets. The challenges are deeply human. They're about trust, they're about ethics, and they're about our own willingness to evolve. The technology is here. The real test is, are we ready to become the kind of partners that it needs us to be?